Good morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends watching in North America, and hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. If you're joining me, please say hello in the comments so I know you're here. Today I'm going to play with the Art in Bloom bundle, which is out of the brand new 2021-2022 annual catalog. That would be this catalog. If you're in Australia and you don't have a copy of this catalog, which is beautiful, and you would like one, and you would like for me to be your demonstrator, let me know in the comments or a private message or an email at nancy@nancysniftynotes.com, and I will send one out to you. But today, this bundle is here on page 116. If you watched my unboxing video on Monday, you will have seen that I pulled it out and played with it very, very briefly because it's really intriguing. It's really, really hard to miss. But up here, there's this very faint picture of this Bloom hybrid embossing folder. And it looks just like a 3D embossing folder, but when you bring in the dies, this actually has a die that goes right on these center flowers. Make sure you can see this here. And you put it on the side with the Stampin' Up! Logo. And then you can run a piece of cardstock through, and it embosses and cuts at the same time. And it's really, really cool. I will bring in a piece of cardstock and show you just that once more. I showed you that, I know, on Monday. Just cut a piece here, but I will show you that again. This is just a piece of Calypso Coral. So I'm going to put that on this side. And I'm going to put this back on here. And I'm going to run that through just with, show you here, plate 1 and this is plate 4. So just like you would with a 3D embossing folder. Hello, Nikki and Gladys. It does not cut into the embossing folder. I will show you. Get that catalog out of the way now. But I wanted to show you, it's here on page 116 with the stamp set, and then the first page of the die bundles. It's also showing you right here. So, get that out of the way. So when it cuts, it's specially made. It's got an extra little lip to hold the embossing, to hold the die in place on this side. If I can get it going the right way here. There we go. It catches on there. And then on this side, can you see how beautiful that is? Oh, it moved. Never mind. I'll show you again. But it does, well, when it moved, it did cut in a little tiny bit. But when it's in the right place, it doesn't. Let me try that one more time without so much moving around. So if you look for Sarah Douglas, Stampin' Up! CEO, she also did a video, a Facebook Live on this today. She just posted it. came out better. Yeah. So there we go. Looking to see what you can see here. Hello, Paula and Renata. Okay, so now you can see it. You can see all of the embossing detail. And if I lift up the negative, so you can see just a little bit of the Calypso Coral outline. Bring this up here. You can see the one where I really had it off. That was not good. But when it was cut where it belonged, yes, there's a little tiny bit of a mark, but it's just going to be right there, and it doesn't begin to go through the whole thing. So I think it's just going to make that groove, and then it'll just sit in that groove. So you can use just those. You can use the negative background. You can use them together, separate. So I went this far in Monday's unboxing video, and yesterday I did a little play with, and this is what I made after I went that far. So I used this die to cut a bunch of leaves, and I actually used a different set to get the sentiment, and the label die cut is from a different set of dies, just for how I wanted to lay it all out. But I actually sponged a little bit of Petal Pink on there and used a lot of Wink of Stella, and added some gems. And then I did cut the leaves and add them on there. And these have the adhesive sheets on the back, so it was really easy to figure out where I wanted them and just peel off and stick. So that's what I did with that. That'll be on my blog one day soon. But I wanted to do another play and try some different things. Hello, Joyce. Nice to see you. So I tried this once and didn't have it lined up quite right, but I stamped. So these center flowers here, they do have a coordinating stamp set and fill stamps. So I'm going to try one more time to see if I can, it's not lined up exactly how I would hope, but I'm going to try it one more time to see if I can get it lined up a little bit better. So on these videos, you get to see it live and raw. I usually haven't even tried it once, but there's no guarantees with what I'm doing, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm bringing in my Stampin' Pierce mat to have a nice giving surface with these photopolymer stamps, especially the fill, the coloring in stamps. Get that somewhat in the center. And hold. And you know me, I like to clean right away so that I don't drop it and get something on it. And I've chosen Flirty Flamingo today. And this is distinctive stamp with this fill, so it's got that etching, gives it kind of a watercolory look. And it doesn't mesh perfectly. It's kind of an impression thing. But it's pretty close. But it leaves some white. And I like that. Let's see this one. Hey Renata, I saw your post with Christoph's senior shout out, I guess, with the Seeing Eye Dog Puppy Club. Loved it. Showed it to my husband. Had a good time with that. I had a training session yesterday with our puppy trainer at Noah. She says he's doing really well. He's got some frustrating teenage behaviors. But she had some suggestions. So that's good. But she didn't say, oh, yeah, no, he's going to get kicked out, which is what I was kind of worried about because he's being kind of obnoxious. Okay, so there are those three. And now what I want to do is I want to emboss, but I don't want to cut. So we're going to see about how closely we can line these up. And I'm not worried about it being, you know, the paper's kind of cattywampus, as we would say, off kilter. And that's not bothering me at all. So I'm just taking a minute to see how closely I can line all these up. I'm wondering. My mother-in-law would say, you have to hold your mouth just right. There. I think that's pretty darn close. Okay, I'm going to run that through. And again, I'm not using the die on this one. Just the folder. Okay, that one is lined up much better than this one was. I'll turn it the same way so you can see. This one, it's off just a little bit, but really only just a little bit, not as much as this one is. So I'm happier with that. So taking a moment to get it right where you want it pays off. And now I'm going to cut a piece. This is shaded spruce. I'm going to cut that to the size I want, which is going to be 10, 14.4, which is the first layer. It's the equivalent of what? 5 1/4 by 4 in the US. What I'm going to do now is bring in these dies, really. See, so they would be on like that. I'm going to put them here. I'm going to come up a little bit, I think. And I'm going to run this through just like you would a regular die. Okay, So I've got those three I can set aside for something else if I want. And now I've got this piece. And my goal is, yeah. And I am not worried about that because I'm going to cut it down. And what I'm going to do is bring in dimensionals. Let's make sure that didn't upset anything. Good. Okay. Looks like I'm still broadcasting. That's good. This is going to be a little bit like seeing how the sausage is made. I'm going to grab my silicone mat just in case any of this goes off the edges. Let me see if I can anticipate that. Should be good. Excellent. So, oh my goodness. That's the hard part, is to get it right where you want it when it's already all sticky. There we go. Okay. So now I'm could use my paper snips, but I like, for these bigger things, I like to use my bigger scissors. So I'm going to come in and I'm kind of angling them because I'm going to undercut. Because I don't want to see that at all. And I don't care if it's crooked and ugly because nobody's going to see it, right? That's what I meant about kind of seeing how the sausage is made. There, I want to be sure I'm not cutting a little bit more here to do. So there, nobody's going to be able to see what's underneath, but I have that, I don't know if you can see it, but it is textured and embossed and stamped in 2 different layers. And I have that it will go up on. But I'm going to do a little bit more. Bring this back in. What does that say? Thanks for making me happy. Sometimes you have to be careful. Yep, that will go on there. Okay. I was going to say sometimes we have to be careful here in A4 land that they don't make these too wide to go across an A4 card, because A4 cards are narrower than letter cards. But we did fine. They did fine. I have lots and lots of strips. Thanks for making me happy. And I'm actually going to go ahead and use, look at that, nice long label. So I didn't need to do a strip, but since I have so many of them overflowing, it's as easy as anything else. Whoops, it moved on the actual position. Da, 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 da. Go. Thanks for making me happy. Oh, that came out terrible. Terrible. Trying again. Let's try a strip that's not quite so skinny. So that one, the stamping is better. Post-it note, and see, I did this before and it still came out badly. It's pretty, it is a pretty tight fit, but I was surprised that it moved on me. Let's see how this does. Yes, that die came with the set. There we go, that's better. So these are the dies. So it's got that long one, and it's got this ticket and a bunch of leaves, and the trio, and then these three little flowers too, which I may use. And then this also has the new storage system with the images printed on the back side of the case insert, so you can just put them right on there. I've kept my plastic sheets, but they're over here. I'm putting these on here together. I'm not... We'll see what we see. Another strip. often keep a lot of these when I'm trimming the basic white down for layers. They kind of like exclamation points that way, don't they? Yeah, truly making it up as I go here. Really get under there. So we're all a Twitter here in Melbourne again because we have one case of coronavirus because somebody quarantined in a hotel in South Australia and they believe he got infected from it. Infected with it from the neighboring room where somebody tested positive, but he didn't test positive till after he'd been back in Victoria for several days. So of course he'd been out and about and in the community. So people are, I'm trying to figure out how exactly I want to do this. Thinking kind of like that would be fun. So, yes. Fortunately, none of the places he went to are places that I have been. So far, the people he lives with have not tested positive. And I'm sure those of you in the States are like, oh my gosh, you're tracking individual cases and they're making news. But yep, that's how we roll here. The kind of disappointing news overnight is the federal government released their budget proposal, and they're anticipating our borders being closed until mid-2022. So, for a number of reasons, some people won't be happy. I like how that's shaping up so far. And I think I'm going to try, I don't know. No. Okay, so. So I'm popping up the shaded spruce bits, and I'm going to add some glue in there, I believe, just to help it. And then we'll see if we can get this on straight. There we go. And again, straight. Oh no. It's still going, right? Okay. Okay, I'm checking here because it looks like I'm still going there, but on my Facebook feed it looks like it's ended. Okay, I think it's still there. Okay, good. So stick with me here. I think maybe we will do some of these in the center. Like so. I was also thinking maybe a little sparkle? Question mark. Trying to decide here. Just something to brighten up that green a little bit. Yes, sparkle. Always says sparkle. So let's see what we got here. And the question is, do I use some of these elegant faceted gems? Or I've already started pulling things from my class on Saturday, so some things are not where they usually are. There we go. I'm going to do these. Going to let the green kind of shine through. think of that? Stuff everywhere. Yeah. So that's fun, I think. I will put white inside there. I just can't get to my trimmer right now. Yeah, something a little bit different, even though it is once again flowers from Stampin' Up. Yeah, I don't see how much you can see of the embossing there, but it's pretty cool. I'll bring this one back in for a moment also, so you can see it. Yeah, that's what I have today. Next week I'll be back with something else brand new out of the annual catalog, because I have a couple different things from that order I unboxed. You can go back and look on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel for the unboxing if you want to see that. And again, if you're in Australia and you would like a copy of this fantastic new annual catalog, drop me a line somehow and I will get one out to you. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you in 1 week. Bye-bye for now.